In this pancast, we are going to take a look at a Bosch 500 dishwasher. We are going to clean some stainless steel cookware with some All-Clad stainless steel cookware cleaner. See how that goes. In the last episode, we promised we were going to do some drinking in this episode, and we are. My wife got me a bunch of bar equipment for Christmas, so we're going to do a bunch of mini reviews of some bar equipment. And I don't know about you guys, but with the situation in the world these days, pandemics, death, threat of global thermonuclear annihilation, I could kind of use a drink. I don't know. We're going to do a little bit of drinking later in the episode, and possibly even more. Let's get started. Okay, if you remember a few episodes back, I mentioned that my dishwasher had conked out. Now, in this house, we are lucky / blessed enough to have a basement kitchen. So when the dishwasher went out on our main floor for 47 loads, not exaggerating, literally 47 loads, I channeled my inner busboy, got my tub here, and brought all the dirty dishes from the main floor down to the basement and washed them 47 loads in a row. Wife, none. Now, I am a gentleman. I didn't mind really carrying that. But I put out the call to you guys for what kind of dishwasher we needed to buy to replace that one upstairs. And overwhelmingly, you guys suggested a Bosch. We decided to go with the Bosch, thanks to you guys. We were going to get a Bosch 300. Turns out there was about a 3-month wait to get a Bosch 300. I was tired of lugging dishes. Conveniently, they had a more expensive model in stock. And here it is. I was in for close to $1,000 on the dishwasher itself. Of course, there was some sort of wiring harness, some sort of hose thing, installation, delivery, carting away the old one. The state of Utah had to make $75 or so somehow on sales tax. Now they have people with badges and guns, so I typically don't mind paying that, but I'm not sure exactly what they did to deserve it. But the guy brought it out and got it installed. And I asked him, what do you do with the old dishwashers? And he said, well, they take them back to the shop and they part them out. Part them out. Immediately a light bulb went off over my head and I started thinking, you know, if I keep this old dishwasher, I could part that thing out. I could sell those old parts off on eBay, probably make some money back and pay for part of my dishwasher. Then I had what is known as a moment of clarity. I had a vision of the future. I could see 10 years down the road, not able to park in my garage because there was a broken down, half parted out dishwasher in there that I was too cheap to take to the dump. And I told him, you know what? Take it away. As a matter of fact, I will tip you. Get rid of the thing. So we got the new one installed and I like it so far. The most important thing is the dishes come out clean. Really impressed with the way the dishes come out. These glasses, they're not streaky, they're not spotty. So I like that. It also has some sort of red light that shines down on the floor when the machine is in use. And that's actually pretty important because these Bosch are so quiet, and it's one of their claims to fame, that you can barely hear them. This one says in the interior door panel that it's a 44 decibel washer. Very, very quiet. Now, in real terms, what does that mean? If I'm in the kitchen and I have the TV on in the den, it doesn't drown that out. I like to cook. I like to put music on when I'm in the kitchen. It doesn't drown out the music. Now, on the downside, though, I can still hear my wife. Speaking of whom, my wife made some brown rice this week. Unfortunately, it was white rice. You know, I think her secret recipe is crank it up to high and walk off and leave it, unfortunately. However, she was using my All-Clad stainless steel D3 4-quart saucepan with lid. Got all this gunk in here, and this seems to be a good opportunity to try out some of this. This is All-Clad's own branded stainless steel cleaner. So here we go. And the first thing I notice using this stuff is that it's very similar to Barkeeper's Friend. If you've ever used Barkeeper's Friend, this seems to be very similar. It seems to be just slightly abrasive. Get some down in the saucepan, get a wet sponge, get a little water in there, add a little bit of elbow grease, stood there and scrubbed for 4 or 5 minutes. and it got that thing looking almost brand new. Very shiny, got all that burnt on gunk out of there. Also been reviewing a D3 stainless steel All-Clad pan. Look at this mess, holy cow. The All-Clad cleaner, I hit it with that. Again, about 5 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes of scrubbing, but it got it really, really clean. And it seems to be the All-Clad version of Barkeeper's Friend. I don't know if they're the exact same, but they seem very similar to me. They power through that kind of burnt on, stuck on gunk I get when I cook meats and proteins and some higher temp cooking in stainless steel, or when my wife makes white rice. It seems to work very well and get my All-Clad stainless steel clean. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up. If you have a bunch of Barkeeper's Friend, no reason to throw that out and run out and buy this. But next time you want some stainless steel pan cleaner, maybe try a dedicated product. Who knows? To Tump. I have officially been mocked. I have been mocked for using the word Tump. Now, and I did a review a few months ago of a Lodge cookware storage tower. And in that video, I mentioned that it seemed to be a little bit top heavy when I put heavy things at the top. And I didn't want my little son to tump it over on himself. Tump. And I started getting a few emails. People were saying, what is Tump? What is Tump? And finally, Captain Kirk, why aren't you out shooting lasers or something? Why are you mocking me on the internet? Anyway, Captain Kirk says, are you saying tump it over? WTH does that mean? And a big LOL. Tump. So I didn't know what was going on here. I've used this word my entire life. So I went to the Collins Dictionary online and looked it up. And it said it was British dialect for a small mound or clump. What? That's not what I mean. That's not what tump means. I didn't see any other definitions of it there. I went to Merriam-Webster. They also had the kind of British definition of it, but they also had a Southern dialect version. And it says chiefly Southern U.S. I'm from Alabama. Tump means to tip or turn over, especially accidentally. Tump. Okay, now let's do a little drinking. Now here I want to point out up front that on my wife's list, admittedly a long list of things she seems to enjoy complaining about, are video games, too much kitchen equipment, and too much drinking. For Christmas, she got me a PlayStation 5 controller, a turkey fryer, and a bunch of bar equipment. I think everybody's happy. It's a win-win. Regardless, she got me all kinds of stuff. We're going to take a look at it. I want to start with some ice trays. So I got 3 different ice trays. A Tovolo King Cube ice tray makes 2-inch cubes. A True Colossal ice cube tray also claims to make 2-inch cubes. And then this one here is a Peak Sphere ice tray. Pairing the ice cubes made by each of these 3 trays, I like the spherical cubes the best. Now, one thing I like about them is you can do this. And you can sit there and ponder if spherical cube makes any sense while you fix a drink. Still going. And these other ones. The Tovolo and the, what was that? Colossal King Cube. The reason I like the spherical better is they fit inside a drink glass. This is a Waterford crystal glass. If you notice, the ice cube, the spherical cube, fits all the way down in there. These square cubes do not. They're kind of elevated almost an inch or so up the sides of the glass. Same thing if I use different glasses. This is a commemorative Johnny Walker Scotch glass. Again, the cube does not go to the bottom of the glass. Where's the spherical cube? Again, somehow that doesn't make sense, yet it does. Rests nicely down in there. So I like the spherical. So let's go ahead and pour ourselves a drink here. Now this Waterford crystal, this is actually leaded crystal. So a word of advice here is if you have leaded crystal, don't store liquor in these things for months and months at a time. This one here, we only bring out when there's a special event, when I'm gonna get out the good stuff. Got people coming over, got a guest in town, blah, blah, blah. We keep it dry and empty. And if you've had your leaded crystal sitting for a while, you might want to give it a good rinse, give it a quick wash, and then put your liquor or whatever you want in there. Use it for a day or two, a couple of days, and then empty it out or dry it out. You don't want to leave liquor in leaded crystal for an extended period of time. Whiskey's bad enough for your brain. You don't want to add lead on top of it. Cheers. Now, is this Jim, Johnny, Jack, or some of my 3-year-old son's apple juice? That's not apple juice. Okay, some other stuff she got me. These Visky Scotch glasses. They're a little bit smaller, not going to be able to get any ice down here. So this is not for a Scotch on the rocks. This is for a neat Scotch. Kind of nice if you're going to kind of appreciate the aroma of your Scotch. I note that to get the Scotch up to the curve here, like you see in the picture, that's a little over 2 ounces. So if you're counting your drinks and want to get this to kind of the way they showed in the picture, note that that's a little bit more than one standard drink. Just good to know. Next up, the True Oracle Flask Funnel. This is a tiny stainless steel funnel. It's made to go into the small opening of a flask. Now, we're getting into the true old man territory here, but who needs a flask? You go to some sporting event where the drink prices are absolutely outrageous and you think, well, maybe I'll just kind of bring some of my own along with me. I don't know. At some point in life, you kind of reach that point. They're also great for day hikes, church picnics, and my wife's family reunions. Definitely need a flask. Now this flask fits in here nicely and it's pretty simple. It just makes the opening a little bit wider so when you pour in your beverage of choice, it doesn't spill everywhere. As a bonus, this little flask funnel also fits nicely into the little hole in the top of that spherical ice cube mold. It can be a little bit messy getting that water into the mold. The old flask funnel works quite well for that. So a little bonus usage for the flask funnel. So I just want to say none of this bar equipment and bar stuff is absolutely necessary. I do kind of enjoy having this kind of stuff though, a little bit dedicated gear. It makes having a drink just a little bit more entertaining and fun. So I do like all of it. Now, I think I'm going to spend the rest of the evening marinating a few more ice cubes. And I hope and pray that the world situation calms down, that there's no nuclear war, and that we're all around for the next Pancast. Kind of a scary, sobering thought, ironically, while having a drink. With that said, though, I love all you guys. Be safe, be careful out there. We'll see you again next time on Uncle Scott's Pancast.